Hey guys, it's Cullip here, and welcome back to the final episode of the first season of the Cullip Hour podcast. And today we are reviewing the final ever Oasis album, released on the 6th of October 2008. We have Dig Out Your Soul. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing this album today, guys. It was produced by Dave Sardy, the man who produced the last album, Not Dig Out Your Soul, Don't Believe the Truth. Too many D's in the titles. So yeah, it was the same lineup as Don't Believe the Truth. So we got Liam, Noel, Gem, Andy, and we got Zach Starkey on the drums again, who was actually made an official member during the sessions of Dig Out Your Soul. And yet it was recorded at Abbey Road Studios, the famous Abbey Road Studios in London, and then it was mixed in Los Angeles, the same place for Don't Believe the Truth. And yeah, I really like I've got the vinyl here, I've got the album art, it's amazing. It was done by Julian House, and yeah, this album has a feel to it. I talk about feels of an album, and it's so important for it. I'll talk about all the songs, how it actually fits into the mood later. But yeah, just looking at the album art, me holding the vinyl here, there's something about it. It's psychedelic. It's crazy with the amount of stuff that's on here. It's got an apple, got WMD bomb going off. It's mad. But yeah, Julian House done a brilliant job with the album art on here. And they got the title Dig Out Your Soul by Ralph Steedman when he first heard the album and heard the song To Be Where There's Life, which is personally one of my songs on the album. And I really like when they say Dig Out Your Soul, because here we go. I really like that. And in its first week in the UK, because I live in the UK, sold 90,000 copies, which is not bad for an album. And when it was released, entered number 1 in the UK album charts. And funny fact for all people who like facts, every single Oasis album ever released has been in at number 1 in the UK album charts, and Dig Out Your Soul is no different. It's a very well received album, but as after definitely maybe on What's the Story, Morning Glory, every Oasis album is very divisive. And some critics love it, some hate it, some fans love it, some fans hate it. I personally think it's a good, well, I'll explain later, but I personally think it's a good album, without going into much detail for now. Yeah, it's a great album. It's not a great album, but it's a good album for Oasis standards. Yeah, there's some great songs on here, some brilliant Oasis songs. And then there's some filler tracks which could not be on here when you think about some of the songs in this era, and then some of their solo stuff which could have been on this album before it was on their solo. But yeah, well received album. I think it's good, and yet we see all the band share songs again. Noel writing most of the tracks on this album, and Andy contributes to one, Gem contributes, and Liam contributes to about 4 songs on this album. And this is one of the songs on here I think is Liam's best song on here. Yeah, well, I'll get into that later. Yeah, and as I said, it's the last ever Oasis album before they split up in 2009, which is quite unfortunate, and I'll get into my thoughts if Oasis should come back at the end, because that's separate in itself. And yeah, I do think this is a great way to go out. Well, this is a good album to go out on. If they left with Be Here Now or Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, it wouldn't have been the best way, in my opinion, to go out. But even though I prefer Be Here Now to Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, so that might not have been a bad way to go out. But if they ended up with Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, I don't think it would have ended as well. But as I keep saying, it's a good album. And yeah, I do believe this is a great album to go out on. It was recorded between August 2007 and March 2008. And yeah, I really like the sound on this. Most people say it's fitting into too many genres. This is my personal opinion, I believe it's a mix between Standing on the Shoulder of Giants and Don't Believe the Truth, which was the last album. I personally think that's two good mixes, because I do like to go in on Standing on the Shoulder of Giants a lot, which you guys can see my 2 reviews of Don't Believe the Truth and Standing on the Shoulder of Giants on my channel, and I'll link it down in the playlist. But yeah, I really do like the atmosphere and the sound of Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. I just don't think the songs were as great as people think they are. But yeah, this is a way better album than Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, and I believe the mix of that and Don't Believe the Truth are blended into brilliant. But then I also do see the case that they are mixing into too many genres, because you got Shock of the Lightning, which is a classic Oasis song with a little bit of mix of Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. And then you've got To Be Where This Life, which is like Who Feels Love, Indian culture references in there, which is the same as Who Feels Love on Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. And then you've got I'm Out of Time, which is like really gothic and eerie. So yeah, you can see why people think they're mixing into too many genres. But I will go into the songs later. And there's 3 singles released, and there was actually no number 1 single. It was the first Oasis album since Definitely Maybe not to get a number 1 single. So yeah, without further ado, that was the background of the album. Let's get into the songs and my thoughts on them. So we go into the first song of the album, and it's Bag It Up. This is a psychedelic rock song, and yeah, this is a brilliant way to start off the album. Classic Oasis mixed with the new sounds, and yeah, I really love this song. When I first heard it, I thought it's a bit peculiar way to start off an Oasis album. Like Liam talks about, got my heebie-jeebies in a bag. Most people will be turned off by that, will be like, what the hell is he talking about? But I personally think it's a funny lyric, and I quite like it. And I like the title, Bag It Up. I love the introduction, he literally goes in and then the guitar is roaring. I really love this. And then the chorus is explosive, I love it. And yeah, was probably not one of the best Oasis tracks. When you think about the best starting songs on the albums, you got Rock and Roll Star, Do You Know What I Mean? Maybe, I think Bag It Up's better than Effin' in the Bushes. Then you got, the Hindu Times, that was a brilliant introduction on Heathen Chemistry. And you got Turn Up the Sun on the last album, that was a brilliant introduction. So when you take a look at all the other Oasis intros on their albums, Bag It Up is probably not the best. It's better than Effin' in the Bushes, I'd say. But yeah, for this album, what a way to start off Dig Off Your Soul. And yeah, one of my favourites on the album for sure. Next song up, we got The Turning, and I should say the first 4 songs on the album are written by Noel. And yeah, when I first heard the song, I didn't really like it. I thought it was a bit boring and bland. But as I keep listening to this album, I love it. I love the chorus, I love the introduction, I love everything about this song. Funny enough, they mention Rapture, and then the next song on the album is Waiting for the Rapture. It's just quite funny, in my opinion. Some people might not find that funny, but I do. I just find it funny. But yeah, I really like this song, and as I said, I didn't like it when I first heard it, but yeah. As it goes along, the song gets better and better and better. I think most people with the first 2 songs on this album, they're a bit long. Even like the first side on the vinyl, there's only 2 songs on the first side, because the first 2 are quite long. This probably suffers maybe the same as did Be Here Now. But yeah, this is shorter than Be Here Now. But yeah, still some long songs in here. But they do work, some of them. But even with that, I still think Be Here Now is a better album than Dig Out Your Soul. But the production on here is half and half with Be Here Now. But I do believe it's a better production, as most are. Well, you could say Standing on the Shoulder of Giants is a better production, but then the songs are not great. But yeah, overall, The Turning wasn't one of my favourite songs when starting listening to Oasis and this album. But as I've listened to this album more, definitely a great song and a great rock song by Oasis, and a great one written by Noel. Next song we got, as I've said, Waiting for the Rapture. This is the first song where I think, no, I don't really like this. This kind of reminds me of like a Mucky Fingers from Don't Believe the Truth, or a Little James. Well, this is a better song than Little James. Yeah, but it has like, oh, put your money where your mouth is. It's like them type of songs, not like type of song, but I don't really like this song. It's a bit boring. The chorus is boring. It's slow. It's lethargic, I think. It's not a great one written by Noel. And yeah, as I said, this is in the good album category. It's not a great album, and this song kind of fulfills that and backs up my point. It's not bad, as I said. Like I said with Heathen Chemistry, half of the songs on there are not bad. They just don't have any feel to them, and some people would like Waiting for the Rapture, I think. It's not a bad song written by Noel, but when considering some of the songs on this album, it's not great and not one of my favourite songs on the album. And yeah, we move into the next song, which is definitely way better and the best song on the album in my opinion. Next song, we got the first single released from the album. It is The Shock of the Lightning. And yeah, this is an Oasis classic. It's absolutely brilliant. It's classic Oasis, as I've said in the introduction. It's loud, it's in your face, it's brilliant. I love the music video, as most of the not the table there. Most of the visuals on the front cover of this album are in the music video. And yeah, when released, it got to number 3 in the charts. And during that time, it got stopped. I'm not sure what number 2 was, but number 1 during that 2008 was Pink with So What, I think. Which is not a bad song in my opinion. Yeah, I do like Pink a little bit. Not her modern day stuff. Her old stuff in the noughties was fantastic. Noughties kid as I am. But yeah, it got stopped by Pink. But number 3, yeah, this was the first Oasis song to get number 1 since definitely maybe. And yeah, it's a fantastic song, one of Oasis's best. The music video is brilliant. It's probably my favorite. I'm gonna give it away, but it's probably my favourite song on the album. And as I've said, with the past 2 albums, the singles released from here are all brilliant. You can't question when choosing the singles to be released on this album. And yeah, the music video, some people will be a bit turned off by it. It's a bit in your face with all the visuals. As I said, I think visually this album is one of the best. And yeah, this is an Oasis classic, and you guys should listen to The Shock of the Lightning. And yeah, Liam sings the song brilliantly, and Liam's backing vocals, Noel's backing vocals are also brilliant as well. So listen to The Shock of the Lightning. Next song on the album, and was the second single released, was I'm Out of Time. This was the first song on the album written by Liam, and this is a absolutely fantastic song. I think hardcore Oasis fans love this, but casual, as I talk about, I always like to bring up this analogy or talk about the casual and hardcore Oasis fans. Hardcore Oasis fans love this song. This is, in my opinion, I do love Songbird, which was my favourite album on Heathen Chemistry. I think this is the best Liam song he's ever written for Oasis. It's eerie, the music video is eerie. It also features snippets of an interview in 1980 by John Lennon, his hero. I like John Lennon as well. I like his fashion style, as I always say, and Liam's. But yeah, it's a fantastic song. It's eerie. The interview snippets work on this song. I love the music video, black and white. You guys should watch that. I think the music videos on this album are some of the best Oasis ever done, and the singles are some of the best Oasis have ever done. As I said, it's really underrated, this album. As I said, it's good, but it's not great. But yeah, it's really underrated. And yeah, that'll be the next video after this. I'll be ranking all my Oasis albums, so make sure you guys watch that, because that might cause a bit of controversy with that. But yeah, overall, I'm Out of Time. It got to number 12 in the charts, so it was also made Oasis's... Oh, what am I saying now? But yeah, it was one of the first Oasis songs not to get a top 10 since definitely maybe. But yeah, it was a really good song. Perhaps it should have gone in the top 10, but I'm not familiar with the charts from back then. I can't remember from all the way back there, 2008. Blimey, that was a long time ago. Well, it's not that long time ago, but yeah. But yes, overall, brilliant song, one of the best Oasis ever done, probably the best Liam song he's ever written, and yeah, really under the radar, and one of the best on the album. Next song on the album we have Get Off Your High Horse Lady, and this was written by Noel. It's a filler track. Some people love this song, some people like it. I find it funny because I like the background song. It sounds like an old western, like steampunk factory song. I kind of like it. It's like it's half and half days. Like some days I love Sunday Morning Cool, some days I don't like Sunday Morning Cool, and then some days I like this High Horse. I just call it High Horse Lady. Whereas then some days I don't like this song. But yeah, I really like the background to the song. The lyrics are a bit boring and bland. Get off your high horse, lady. I don't need no ride tonight. Yeah, but musically, I'd say I really like this song. But lyrics overall, it's a really short song. I don't like it. I like the drums, and Zach Starkey, like on Don't Believe the Truth, he did a fantastic job on this album. And yeah, overall, it's another filler track, like Waiting for the Rapture, and yeah, probably a skippable song in my opinion. Next song on the album, and the last ever Oasis single to be released, we have, and this is another Noel track, and this is his last on the album. It's Falling Down, and yeah, what can I say about this song? Noel in The Time Flies, when he talks about the singles, which I said to recommend last time out, he said it's a brilliant way to start off with Supersonic on Definitely Maybe, and if there's a brilliant single to end with Falling Down, and I personally think that as well, to go from Supersonic to Falling Down. Some people would say it's a bit of a downgrade, but yeah, Falling Down, easily the top 5 best songs on this album, and one of the best Oasis songs of all time. The music video kind of reminds me of the story of Princess Diana. Perhaps that was the bit of the background. It's about like the royals, and Oasis do feature in that video, looking enthusiastic as they always in their music videos. And they're all dressed up in suits in the party. And yeah, I do like the music video to it. It can be a bit boring for some people, because some people might not like the royals and the hierarchy system we have in the country and in life. But yeah, Falling Down, let's get into the song, don't worry about the music video. My music videos these days are not that great in my opinion, not many people watch them. But yeah, Falling Down, brilliant. I love the song, I love the scale, it just goes, it builds and builds and builds and builds. It's fantastic, the lyrics are brilliant. Falling Down is all that I've ever known. It's quite dark lyrically, but yeah, it's a really positive song, fits the aura that Oasis present to people, always being positive throughout their songs. Like The Shock of the Lightning is such a positive song about love. Got Bag It Up, mostly about emotions. The Turning, brilliant Oasis song. And yeah, Falling Down, brilliant song, one of the best on the album. And what a way to go out. If, like I said, you start off with Supersonic in 94 and you end with Falling Down in 09. And yeah, probably maybe the second or third best song on the album. The 8th song on this album, this was written by Gem, and this is To Be Where There's Life. I think this is a very underrated and one of the most underrated Oasis tracks. Like I said, it reminds me of Who Feels Love on Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, and yeah, Indian culture influences, especially at the start. And yeah, I think this song, I said, a lot of this album builds and builds and builds to something. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. Most of the time it does. And yeah, To Be With Us Life is, I think it's what the most, not the most, I think the most underrated Oasis track ever is The Master Plan. Well, a lot of people, actually no it's not. What am I talking about? See, this is the art of doing recording. I like to leave my mistakes in, because if you don't, in my opinion, if you don't show your mistakes, I don't think you're progressing. But yeah, I think, going back, I think the most underrated Oasis track is, Let's All Make Believe. Yeah, that's the most underrated Oasis track, Let's All Make Believe. And yeah, To Be With Us Life is one of them. It's brilliant. As I said, Who Feels Love is also underrated, so that fits into that category as well. And yeah, I think this is one of the best songs on the album, and a lot of people tend to skip this. And yeah, this is where, as I said, it mentions Dig Out Your Soul, where they got the album name from. And Noel said famously, as long as it's not called Oasis, I don't care. Little funny from Noel there. And yeah, you guys should listen to Be With Us Live. I personally, well, a lot of my people might not agree, but I think it should have been a single. If there was a fourth single released from this album, I think To Be With Us Live, or Bag It Up, should have been the fourth song released on this album. And I like it live as well. It's not the best time for Liam's vocals during this time. He was losing his voice towards the end of Don't Believe the Truth tour and during the Dig Out Your Soul tour, which didn't end because we all know why. And I'll get into that later. But yeah, it's not best live for Oasis during these times. But yeah, To Be With Us Live, great song overall and very, very underrated. The ninth song on the album, we've got Ain't Got Nothing. I'm going to keep this relatively short. It's a bit boring and bland. It's trying to build on something. There's nothing really to... As I said, most of the songs in this album build towards something. And Ain't Got Nothing, this was written... Where was it written by? It was written by Liam. Yeah, it was written by Liam on this album. So it's probably one of Liam's worst ever songs, in my opinion, along with Little James. And yeah, it's better than Little James. Anything's better than Little James. That's the worst Oasis song ever. But yeah, Ain't Got Nothing. As I said, I'm going to keep it relatively short. It's boring, it's bland, the lyrics are not great. Even musically, I don't like this song. It's one of Oasis' worst ever songs. And yeah, I think you guys should skip this. Most of the ending songs on this album are not great, and this is why I don't consider this to be one of the best Oasis albums. The next song on the album was written by Andy Bell, and it's The Nature of Reality. Again, boring, bland, lethargic. I really don't like this song. When you consider on Don't Believe the Truth, I loved every single song on that album, and this, it's half and half. Like, it's a good album, but then it's also not great at the exact same time. So I can see why people like they're dipping into too many genres, and I can understand why. The Nature of Reality, it's a bit slow. I don't like it. It reminds me a lot of the Force. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Force of Nature from Heathen Chemistry. A lot. That was written by Noel. Yeah, and considering the two songs Andy did on the last album, by his standards, this is not a great song. So, The Nature of Reality, Light Ain't Got Nothing, not a great song, and yeah, two skippable songs on this album. Then we go into the last song on this album, and this was written by Liam. We got Soldier On, and I think it's a good song, nothing special. It's probably the worst, was it maybe the second to, was it worst or third worst ending to an Oasis album? It's not a bad song in any way of the imagination. It's just, it doesn't really build on to something, and it's quite long as well. But yeah, I think it's a good song, not bad overall. And it's brilliantly sung by Liam, as always. Yeah, like they mentioned Soldier On quite a lot of the time, going towards the ending. I think musically this is a brilliant song, as most Oasis songs are, but some not brilliant musically on this album, especially with Ain't Got Nothing and The Nature of Reality. I don't think they're good lyrically or musically. But yeah, Soldier On, good good song to end the album. And was it a brilliant way, some people consider it a brilliant way for Oasis to go off into the sunset, but I just think it's a good song. But when you consider some of the ending songs, like Married with Children, Champagne Supernova, Be Here Now, I think it's the worst ending to an Oasis album, because I love, It's Getting Better Man, but then it's also the ending of All Around the World. I just don't think that fits. I think that's the worst ending to an Oasis album. I think Roll It Over is a brilliant ending. I think Heathen Chemistry is a horrible ending. I think that's the worst. Which is second to worst ending to an Oasis album. I think that's a horrible ending. And then you have Let There Be Love on Don't Believe the Truth. That's a brilliant ending. And this is not a bad ending, but not a great ending. So Soldier On, overall, not a bad song. A good song on the album, but maybe not the best way to go out. And yeah, now it's time for my favourite part. Time to rank the songs on Dig Out Your Soul. Yeah, so now we go into the last ever Oasis song ranking on an album. Oh, quite emotional. Nah, just only joking. Don't cry over music. But yeah, if you guys want to see me do Liam's solo stuff and Noel's solo stuff, so we got BDI, Liam's solo albums, and we got Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Remember to comment if you guys want to see that, and I'll do it. And if you guys want me to see or review a different band or an artist, remember to message me or comment down below. Remember you guys to rank the songs on this album on your opinion and your favourite Oasis albums of all time. I'm always willing to have a debate. And yeah, if you guys want to message me, jcullip02, that's my Twitter, and Jacob_Cullip__, and I'll link those in the description. So yeah, let's go into the album songs being ranked, I guess. Putting that into words. So number 11 we got Ain't Got Nothing, worst song on this album in my opinion. Number 10, The Nature of Reality, not great either, keep that relatively short. And yeah, it was pretty easy to rank 11 to 7 on some of these songs in my opinion. Number 9 we've got Waiting for the Rapture. You're quite lucky, mate, because you're lucky. Ain't Got Nothing, Nature of Reality are not great songs, some of the worst, but I still think Waiting for the Rapture is one of the worst Oasis songs of all time. Number 8 we got Soldier On. As I've said, it starts to get a little bit better from here, but Soldier On is probably the third, in my opinion. The third worst ending to an Oasis album. Words today, Saturday. Then we got 7, Get Off Your High Horse Lady. Not a bad song, but yeah, not great. I'd like it musically. Then we get into some of the best songs in this album from 6 to 1. Number 6 we got The Turning. Just loses out on the top 5 for me. Great song. Because I haven't loved this song that long, I think it just hasn't entered my top 5 for me. Then number 5 we got the first song on this album. We got Bag It Up. And yeah, I've got an American accent there. But Bag It Up, as I should say in my voice. But yeah, brilliant way to end this album. I think it's... End this album? Oh my god, what am I talking about? I'm getting mumbled today. Ugh. Just woke up doing this. Probably not the best. I need to have another cup of tea. Bag It Up is a brilliant way to start the album. There you go. I think I'm rushing a bit too much. Yeah, but Bag It Up, brilliant song. Some people might not like this lyrically or musically, but I really like it. Yep, so number 4 we have To Be With This Life. People will question why it's here. Some people don't like this song. I really love To Be With This Life. It's fantastic, it's brilliant, and I love it. And then we get into the top 3. So number 3 we got I'm Out of Time. Just loses out on second for me. I really like the music video and everything about this song, but I think at number 2 Falling Down is a better song, and yeah, it's sung brilliantly by Noel. I forgot to say Waiting for the Rapture is sung by Noel and Falling Down is sung by Noel. I always forget something. But yeah, Noel sings Falling Down brilliantly in the music video. It's better, in my opinion, than I'm Out of Time. And yeah, I think it's a way better song. And at number 1, we have the lead single of this album, The Shock of the Lightning. What can I say about this song? The best song on this album, one of the best Oasis songs of all time. It's a fantastic rock song. And yeah, the sounds to this song are brilliant. And yeah, probably one of my favourite Oasis songs of all time. So yeah, that was the songs ranked on Dig Out Your Soul. As I said, remember to comment then down below and your albums, which I'll be ranking next for the Jacob Cullip YouTube channel. And yeah, we get into the relatively short B-sides of Dig Out Your Soul. Yeah, and here we go to the B-sides. There's only one B-side, if I'm honest. All the others are remixes. And yeah, the only B-side song to this album is Those Swollen Hand Blues. I don't like it. It's a bit boring. The lyrics are boring. Musically, it's meh, in my opinion. Meh, how to describe things, in my opinion. I'm such a millennial using meh to describe something. But yeah, overall, it's not a great song, not a great B-side, and probably, if it was on the album, probably with Ain't Got Nothing and The Nature of Reality. But I might be wrong for some people. And yeah, all the other B-sides to this album are all remixes. So we got Falling Down, remixed by the Chemical Brothers, who Noel have worked with in the past. I'm Out of Time remix. The Shock of the Lightning remix is really good, I think. Usually I'm not a fan of remixes, especially with Queen, like especially on Greatest Hits 3. Going into Queen now, but yeah, the remixes on Queen albums are not great, and some of the remixes are alright on here, on Dig Out Your Soul. Yeah, there's on Falling Down, there's 1, 2, 3 remixes, which is mad. Got the Gibb remix, the Prodigy version, and yeah, with the Chemical Brother remix. And they're not all bad, some of them are great, but yeah, I think the only good remixes are The Shock of the Lightning and I'm Out of Time. I think Falling Down, you should have just kept it as it was. But yeah, the Chemical Brothers remix is not that bad. So yeah, overall, not many B-sides to this album. The only real B-side song is Those Swollen Hand Blues. Otherwise, there's just remixes of the songs that there already are. And yeah, then we go into, I say, the ending of Oasis. So the ending of Oasis came out on the day of August 28th, 2009, after the Gallagher brothers had another heated exchange, as I'd say all through that tour. And by the time Oasis was slowly breaking up, they just keep having arguments. They've said in interviews they've had worse arguments over what they had. Well, allegedly, a guitar was broken by the hands of Liam. There's so many stories to why they broke up and why both of them were angry. But in the end, perhaps it was best for the band to split up. That's me being confused again. But yeah, I saw a really good comment the other day on a YouTube video. I don't think people realised how big and important people were to their lives. Oasis, I mean. By the time they broke up, I think people appreciate, especially my generation, were getting more into Oasis. I don't think people back then really appreciated how big they actually were. Yes, you can say Beatles knockoff, you could say all of this, but most songs these days and artists are just knockoffs of knockoffs. I'm not afraid to admit it. Get my personality from with these two. I say how it is. I think most songs these days are all right. They're not great. They're not Oasis standards. They're not Led Zeppelin, Queen, all these Elton John. They don't stand up to the best of time. Perhaps maybe one day. But most songs that get to number one these days are just memes. They don't actually really deserve to get to number one, let's be honest. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, that comment was brilliant. I don't think we appreciate Oasis more since they've broken up than actually they were. And my opinion, should they get back together? I was discussing this with my friend the other day. I think they should have got back together after the Manchester terrorist attacks in 2016. Because that would have really united us against terrorism. That concert was brilliant, by the way. Brilliant set by Ariana Grande. She's not a bad artist, I should say. But yeah. Liam went to that concert. He did Live Forever with... I think it's Chris Martin from... I can't remember his name. From Coldplay. Not really into Coldplay. Obviously, they've had disputes in the past, him and Liam. But yeah, they did brilliant on Live Forever. And yeah, Liam was there. But I think Noel should... That could have stood the test of time if Oasis reformed during the One Love for Manchester concert. Obviously, I'm a Manchester United fan and I love Manchester as much as anyone. One of my favourite places on earth. But yeah, that's why I think if they get back together now, of course I'll be behind it. I'd love them to get back together, and I wish it. I'm not just on Liam's side. I adore Noel's solo stuff as well, and I love Liam's solo stuff. But yeah, they both admitted. What's it again? But yeah, they both admitted that whatever they do in their music careers now, it's not going to be as big as Oasis. Of course they know nothing's going to be bigger than Oasis. But yeah, which in my opinion, yeah, they should get back together, but they should have done it in 2016 for the One Love Manchester concert, because that would have standed the test of time here in England. And yeah, that is the end of the Oasis series and the end of today's podcast. So yeah, I've ranked all 7 Oasis podcast. Well, I've ranked all of the Oasis albums. I'm going to do that. I've done it through songs, and I've reviewed all of them. So yeah, the next video I'm going to be ranking all the Oasis albums, which will be a video, not a podcast. And I hope you guys really enjoyed the podcast. I really have. I love Oasis to death. I don't hate any of these albums. There's just some I don't like and some I really love. And yeah, I'll try and get the video as fast as I can up for you guys. And yeah, overall, Dig Out Your Soul, as I said, it's a good album, but it's not a great album. It doesn't lack anything, I'd say, with Even Chemistry. It has something, but yeah, half and half of the album is good and half of it is not great. So what do you guys think of Dig Out Your Soul? Remember to put your songs of what you like in the description and your favourite Oasis albums, and DM me. My links are in the description. And yeah, that's the end of season 1 of the Cullip Hour podcast. I'm going to take a break for a while for the podcast and think about what I'm going to review next on a band or an artist. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, remember to keep watching my podcast and keep watching my videos. Remember to like, share and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, because I do work hard for my videos. And yeah, remember, you need to be yourself. You can't be no one else. And for the last time this season and the Oasis reviews, I've been Jacob Cullip. And yeah, guys, peace.